Welcome to this episode of the RLM podcast. I'm your host, Eli Detter, and with me in the studio today is a friend of mine, Junior Abiola. Junior, feel free to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Junior. I'm on the Hemphill football team, wrestling team. But this year I didn't wrestle, so which is enjoy free time.
Yeah. So, Junior, tell us a little about yourself. Obviously you said that you do wrestling and football. Tell us a little about your for football. Are you a football fanatic? Are you just a player? Are you a fan?
Well, first off, I'm a Ravens fan. No one likes them. Second off, I would like to say I watched the Super Bowl and it was entertaining, except for that I feel like Taylor Swift got more screen time than the actual game itself.
I don't know. I mean, I watched it too, and I as much as people complained about it, I didn't really think. I was like, they showed maybe a couple. It was more towards the end that they had her and Travis Kelce on the screen a lot, but during the game, it wasn't too bad.
I mean, on the Instagram itself, all you'll see is just Taylor Swift.
Right.
More Taylor Swift than you will see of the Chiefs.
Right.
Or the Niners. But I don't know. We all have our opinions.
To be fair, the Niners did lose, so
Bang bang.
not feeling too bad for those people. But yeah, so obviously Super Bowl was this past weekend. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the halftime show. Halftime show was wild. Ludacris and Ludacris, Lil Jon, Alicia Keys. Oh, yeah. That was some fire. That was pretty wild.
Voice crack.
Yeah.
She had a voice crack.
What?
Alicia Keys had a voice
crack.
Oh,
I did not hear that. No. I always thought it was funny because, right? I mean, you saw how Usher was around Alicia Keys.
Oh, and he was holding her tight.
He was. I was watching. I was like, wait a minute, wait a second. Ain't she married? Ain't she a married woman? That was fun to watch. But yeah, that was. I think that was more directed towards older, still our generation, but the older people in our generation. But anyways, what I really want to talk about, obviously, Junior, you have, obviously I had talked to you before about what we wanted to discuss. I mean, it kind of centered around how interactions with other people during the day, just whether it's just a passing interaction or a conversation with someone can completely reshape that person's day. It can completely affect that person in a positive or a negative way, depending on how you choose to go about it. So just kind of give me what your take is on how simple interactions with people can affect them.
Well, for example, we have kids that have disabilities, and there's kids that get less attention than others.
Right.
For example, today I went into the special ed education class, and I had an interaction with Tony. I was like, "Yo, what's up?"
Right.
He just laughed, and then Noah, I just saying normal things so people can make their day, make them happy.
And like I've said before, it's important not to make it seem too don't make it seem like it's charity. Like you want to keep it, you want to keep it authentic, but not being over oh my gosh, hi Tony. That's where you can tell it's fake.
Yeah.
You want to keep it on some level.
They're normal.
Yeah, keep it on some level real. It's not fair for anyone to have to. I would hate if someone came up to me just because I had a disability and was especially nice to me. I'm don't treat me any better or worse than you would treat anyone else. Just treat me like a normal person. So absolutely, like you said, the small interactions of saying hi, asking how someone's day. Most people don't realize that, but literally asking how someone's day is can make that person feel so much better because it shows on a different level that you care about that person more than just saying hi to them, right? I mean, hi, and everyone can say that, but if you actually take the time to actually ask and care how someone's day is, that is a completely different. That's a completely different interaction overall.
Well, I'll be making interactions every day. Everyone knows me.
Right.
If you ask, they're he's annoying, but I do it.
Right.
I do it for my own
honestly
entertainment.
That's
to get through the school day.
Absolutely. That's and I do that too. Again, I'm not I by no means am I popular or anything, but I'm known well enough that pretty much everyone knows me. Pretty much everyone knows who I am, whether they respect me or don't respect me. I don't really care. I don't. I mean, sure, I want people to respect me, but I don't care. When I do my funny little antics or I do this podcast, I'm not doing it because I need people to think of me as he's he's special or he's great or whatever. It's because I want to, on one level, yes, I want to help people. I mean, one of the reasons I made this podcast. Is I want to help people. I want to share messages. I want to spread other people's stories, but also I do this because I want to do it right. Yeah. I want to do this podcast. If this was just like, this isn't, to me, this is more than just a hobby. Like, I could turn this into a career. I could turn this into the thing that kickstarts my adult life.
I mean, I'd enjoy this more than Joe Rogan podcast. I don't really.
Yeah, I mean, because like, again, we're not like, we're no one special. Yeah. we're not we're not celebrities. We're just high school students. And like I said, I do my best to keep it as real as possible, keep it as straightforward, not doing all the stupid dramatic stuff that they do on other podcasts, which and that's the reason I don't actually listen to other people's podcasts, except for like the Jocko podcast. It's like the only one I listen to. Other people's podcasts, I can't listen to them because it's all the same format. It's all the same, celebrity hype and stuff like that. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Got to bring it back down to earth.
I don't like it. I like watch like interviews with like oh no, there's one with Izzy. Right. Asanya, UFC fighter. Mm-hmm. I'm like into that stuff.
Right.
If not, I don't really watch them.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Instagram these days is inundated with podcast clips and stuff like that. It's just, it's actually amazing. I had a mock interview for one of my classes earlier, and he saw that on my resume. I'd put that as a podcast. One of the things that I'm interested in that I do was that I'm a podcast host. And he's like, dude, podcasts like those have blown up within the past 5 years. I mean, 5 years ago, this podcast more than likely would not have been able to happen. It would not have been able to get as widely spread, as widely streamed, just because there wasn't as big of a niche for that. Like, there wasn't as big of a spot for me to just hop in, make a podcast, and shoot it out to people. You had to be extremely good at it and extremely influential previously to even making the podcast, which
I agree.
And it. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that I'm able to do something like this, and hopefully I'm affecting people. Hopefully I'm spreading some sort of message to people when they listen to this.
I mean, there's not many schools that like allow the kids to like have like, I mean, there's some schools I know like McCaskey. I think they have like a broadcasting studio.
Right.
But like they don't get to like. I'm pretty sure they don't get to like express how they feel or like talk with other people.
Right.
Or like I think it's just like their teachers or their school's just strict. I feel like they should let people do more with what they want to do, express their feelings out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now I want to ask you, what is like an interaction that you've had, whether it was recently or in the past, that it affected you more than any other interaction, anything anyone ever said to you? What was like something someone said to you in passing, or just you had a conversation and you left that conversation just with a completely different worldview?
Upset.
Yeah. Like either you were upset or it affected you so much you were like, oh my gosh, that was insane.
Well, like, for example, I was walking in the hallway and I'll be making jokes about like random stuff.
Right.
And I was just talking about like how this girl was like, I was trying to be nice and give people handshakes. And I'm like, yo, just go. Stop being rude. No one wants to hear like dirty comments. Like,
right.
Like no one cares. Just
right.
She's like, didn't your mom die? And it was like,
yeah,
it was like insane. Like,
yeah, it's like rude. It's just why I don't even know why anyone would even feel the need to have to say it, to have to even have a comeback to that.
It's not cool.
No, it's like, yeah.
People need to like mature more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting it's interesting the way certain people in high school will react or act in certain situations, and it almost just makes you look at them and be like, because when it's the older people, then you're just like, aren't you the person I'm supposed to be looking up to? Aren't you the person who's supposed to be setting the example for us, for the lower classmen? And that, or you get the, but then you also get the anomalies where you get the younger people who are
Horrible. Like,
well, you get that, but you also get the ones who are like mature beyond their age, where you're just like,
you think they're like you think they're like 17, 16,
Right,
but
right.
they're like,
It's like
they're like 14.
it's like their mentality. I mean, they must have lived through something to make their minds just like to move like that. I mean, it's incredible. It is incredible to see, especially in the high school and more than any other period of time in our life. I think that might be the most impactful. Like the 4 years you get in high school have got to be like the most life-changing years you get. I fully believe that.
Also, like, I'm glad, like, I had to retake a grade once. Like, it was 6th grade I retook. But, like, I feel like if I wouldn't have, I would not be where I'm at now. So I got more opportunities. So, like, if now I wouldn't have met the people I've met now, like, friends I have now, nice teachers, communities and stuff.
Right. Everything that's happened, it happened for a reason, whether you like it or not. The universe ain't asking you if you like it. Universe is just telling you, hey, it happened. So keep, move. Don't stay in the same place. Move along with it.
Yeah, I just think, like, I don't know, like, it's just, I feel like people, what's the word? They take, like, stuff for granted.
Yeah.
Like, life.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much you could be doing.
Absolutely.
Like, people are, like, giving their life up and just doing whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have school.
Right.
I don't like waking up at 6:30 to come to school.
No.
No one does. But at the end of the day, I'm an athlete, and I know, like, I don't have to enjoy it, but as long as I get my work done, I graduate, and then I can get out of here.
Right.
Like, you don't have to be the best at school, but just give effort. Like, there's, like, a lot of people, like NFL players, all this, they're putting effort. They have to put in effort.
Right.
People may think, like, oh, no, they're not talented. It's just all a script. But, like, you have to put in effort.
Right.
Where you're at. Yeah.
And honestly, even if it was a script, they're putting a whole hell of a lot of effort to make that script happen, even if it is. Like, it's all these celebrities, basketball players, NFL players, hockey players, whatever. I mean, when you see them play or you see them in real life, you might be like, they make it look easy, all right? I mean, they make that stuff look like it's second nature to them. And for them, it is second nature. For them, that's just how they operate. But if we just cold turkey try to do that, we would fail miserably.
Nah, there'd be people on the team be trying to think they're Odell.
Yeah.
Only person that was Micah Gates. We all know that. No one can do that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You can't. You got to keep humility. First of all, you got to stay humble and realize that you're not. Even if your stats say you are the best, you are the best player, you are the best runner, you are the best hockey player, basketball player, cheerleader, whatever. Even if their stats say that, it is not necessarily about how good how much you succeed, how much you can do, how much you can lift, whatever.
Yeah.
It's about the effort that you put in. Because there are people who are born with that natural talent for whatever, right? Like, some people just have a natural talent. They have a natural athletic ability that they can almost do any athletic thing, and they can pretty much do it perfectly.
I mean, yeah, there's some people like, I don't know if you heard the Cowboys kicker. Like, he went from playing soccer straight to an NFL kicker.
Yeah,
he's only missed one kick.
I mean, yeah, some people they can absolutely make that transition. They probably didn't even have to sweat, right?
Yeah.
Now it's important that even if you have that, you still put in work for it. You still figure out, hey, how can I improve this, and how can I continue to get better, and not just be like, well, I'm the best, so I don't need to try anymore, because sooner or later there will be someone who passes over you. Now, granted, yes, soccer players, everyone, the same soccer players have been the best for like the past 30 years.
Messi, Neymar, all
But Messi, Neymar, I mean, you've got some new,
Ronaldo.
you've got some new heads coming. Like you got your Erling Haaland. I mean, you've got new ones coming in. But still, like, yes, once you achieve that level where you're like the best, you are pretty much. I mean, you become. You become legendary. I mean, you get that legendary status. You get those, names and shining lights. You get the, you get that list of, who's the greatest to ever do it. You're in that list. Perfect. Great. Congratulations. But are you still putting in the work for it, or are you just coasting through it?
I mean, yeah, there's still like athletes out there that could have been good. For example, like Tom Brady retired.
Right.
He could have still been good. Like people hate on him saying, yeah, Patrick Mahomes is better. We all know like Tom Brady has been the GOAT.
Right.
Yeah. Patrick
Right.
Mahomes is just like trying to follow behind his footsteps.
Yeah, I mean, but still, even Patrick
I mean,
Mahomes,
he's putting in effort.
I mean, three rings and
two back to back,
two back to back. I mean, 28 years old. I mean, that is
no
hands
offense.
down. That's
the Eagles,
impressive.
The Eagles gotta do better. They lost 32-9 to the
that
Mayfield. That's crazy.
Yeah, that made a couple people mad. I bet.
Yeah, but I just feel like if you get doubted more, is like when you like grind more.
Right.
Like the Chiefs, they were like, yeah, we don't want the Chiefs to win, and then they're like, we don't care. They go out there and show them who they are.
Exactly.
Patrick Mahomes throwing his yards, his completions, and like everyone was talking about like, yeah, he's not even that good. But he just won 2 back-to-back.
Yeah, it's like,
Super
did you do
Bowls.
that? Did you win 2 back-to-back
Like-
Super Bowls, bro?
No matter if it's a script. They're
Exact-
still making millions off of that script. I'd rather make millions off of a script than like make nothing. Like,
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
yeah,
It's like the more. I mean, it is true. I mean, almost any person who's ever succeeded greatly in their life, the more they succeed, the more there are people who doubt them. The more there are people who say they can't do it. The more there are people who will tell them no, simply because. I mean, it's just. One, it's hierarchy, right? No one likes being overshadowed by someone else. No one likes having to admit that someone else is better than that. Even I don't love it when I mean, I wouldn't even say there's anything that I'm the best at, and I'm okay with that. I don't care. I don't need to be the best at anything. As long as I'm good at what I do, and I put in the effort to continue to stay good, I'm cool with that.
one thing I could say is there's been so many people like doubting me because I'll say I'm gonna be a quarterback, and
Right.
I mark my words. I feel like if I put in the work ethic, and be an athlete, it's person over athlete. So if I like get good grades, all of that, put in the
Right.
work, it doesn't matter how bad you are. Like you can be the worst. I played lineman, but I'm trying to be QB, and I feel like if I put in the work, effort, then they'll see that. And
Right.
they want people to try and like want
Absolutely.
to show up, even if it's hard. Who cares? Like
I think effort is more important than skill all the time. I mean, there's this one movie, Coach Carter,
oh yeah,
about
I like that.
Yeah, with Samuel L. Jackson. I mean, they were great at playing, but he didn't care if they weren't putting in the work outside of the court. They were slacking off, and he he took one of the best teams out of basketball. Just told him, hey, you can't play until you get good grades, do your work, show up for class. Because think about it. I mean, if you're not going to show up for class, who says you're going to show up to practice when you don't feel like it? I mean, like you said, we don't love having to get up for. I mean, okay, I don't
Absolutely
really.
not.
I mean, I'm okay with it. It doesn't. It doesn't bother me, but sure, I'd love to be able to sleep in until like 7:30 or 8:30, whatever. But if you're not willing to do something you don't love, such as getting up early, going to practice, getting up early, going to school, getting up early, going to work, whatever, taking care of your kids, like whatever you got to do, you don't love. If you're not willing to do it, don't expect other people to put you in a position where you have to do something such as, I mean, like you said, literally be the person who is kind of responsible for how that football game goes out. I mean, you snap the ball, QB gets the ball, it's QB's decision. I mean, it's the QB who is in charge of the ball. They throw it, boom. The rest of the play goes on.
I mean, if we throw back to Ravens versus Chiefs, there was Ravens did not score much, and I'm a big Ravens fan. And the fact that everyone tried to blame Zay Flowers, he was the only one running down. He was running down, catching. He scored the first touchdown. He I mean, there was a penalty for taunting, and then he ended up like getting blamed. So much hate on social media, and like, I mean, his actions is his actions, but that caused him to do something like bad. Like
Right.
he's like
Right.
that could cause him to like lose his football career.
Right.
Like no matter what happens, you gotta keep your composure.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
you can't lose that because
do
once you
that.
lose that, everyone sees it and they're like, up.
Yeah,
He's not cut out for that.
especially like the fact that I don't know if the rumors are true. You're putting your hands on women is never the
Exactly.
right. Never do that because, like, I don't care. A woman can hit me and I'll just let them because at the end of the day, you have to be the bigger person.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's some people looked at as being weak. It's like, no, there's no need to hit him back.
Yeah, I'm not hitting you. Like,
there's no need.
You're gonna fall over your karma one day.
Yeah, exactly. Like karma will bite you in the ass eventually. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Junior, I appreciate you coming on this podcast. I'm sorry we had to cut this a little short, y'all.
Yeah, that's my
but we scheduling conflict, I suppose. But yeah, absolutely. It is important for all of us to keep in mind how we interact with each other, how we interact with stuff like school, our jobs, our sport. If you're not willing to show up for practice, show up for school, show up for work, don't expect all these opportunities and the doors to be open to you. Work hard. Even if you don't have all the skill, work hard, and the skill will level up to the amount of effort you're putting in.
That's one lesson. You have to learn that.
It will happen. So I want you all to stay motivated. I want you all to stay strong. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone, because we are recording some Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Keep
Not
forgetting.
let anyone put you down, no matter what.
Y'all stay strong. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Of course, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, as well as many others. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at RLM Podcast, and check out my man Junior. Let's see, keep lifting up Junior. Obviously, Junior's gone through a pretty rough year, but obviously keep him in your prayers. Thank you for listening, and have a wonderful day, y'all.